30 teams, one victor, one goal, one purpose. The contenders.
Wait a minute. This isn't a promo video. It's the start of a new but old journey. I'll show you what I mean. So let's take a step back and go back in time. It's currently 2012. Life is good. LeBron James just won his first NBA championship in the Finals MVP with the Miami Heat. The men's USA national basketball team just won the gold medal at the Olympics. The Lakers just formed a new super team that's going to take the league by storm. And there's a young Big Three in Oklahoma City that's brewing that just had come off a finals loss, showing they're going to be a force in the league for years to come. Now imagine, it's Thanksgiving break. You just most likely turned on your Xbox 360 or your PlayStation 3 and are ready to grind your MyCareer. Well, except today, there's going to be a little twist. I created a Super League where it's a mix of NBA legends from the game's classic rosters that's already in the game and the current players of that era. NBA 2K13 is one of my favorite 2Ks of all time. I enjoyed everything about it, from the soundtrack, the substance of the game itself, all the different interesting game modes like creating a legend, but most importantly, the MyCareer mode was simple but so much fun. You can actually start out with little to no VC and your player wouldn't be complete trash like today.
Pulls up, three-pointer.
Outside Curry from the arc.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Playing this game always takes me back to a fun time in gaming, and I hope it does the same for you as well. If you like this series or the content that we post, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. It'd be truly appreciated since we're just starting out. Now stick around for this in-season hype video, and after we will go into showing our rosters and start our MyCareer. Alright, so here's our process for creating the rosters for this series. I've got every current team in NBA 2K13 loaded onto this wheel. One by one, I'll spin to assign each team a legendary player. No cheating, no adjustments. It's completely random, besides them an exception of a few players such as Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I made sure to keep them at their respective teams. It's just hard for me to imagine them in anything else other than the Lakers jersey or a Celtics jersey. So we kept them there, did something else to make it a bit more interesting with substituting the older Kobe Bryant in the current gen with the retro version of him, and as well as Tim Duncan. We took out the older Tim Duncan, replaced him with, I believe, second year or rookie Tim Duncan that's in the rosters as well. So besides that, everybody else is going to be randomly getting chosen by this wheel. We pretty much are just doing this so we make sure that every team at least has a solid player, Makes every game a little bit more interesting, and it makes the league a little bit harder. So we'll see what's the fate that the wheel chooses for everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing where everybody ends up. I have a big list of players that we're going to choose. I'm just going to start from the earliest years, and then we'll keep it going. So each time a team chooses a player by the wheel, I'll make sure to remove that team from the wheel, so then we don't have multiple players going to the same team. And then, yeah, so it makes it a bit more spread out and even. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the results. Let's see how this goes. All right, so to begin, our earliest rosters, we have a 64-65 Bill Russell, 98 overall, 30-year-old Bill Russell. With a lot of these players, I'm going to go with the earliest version of themselves if they have multiple of the same player at just different years. I'll try to go with the earlier years just to make it a bit more interesting, close to their prime. Besides maybe Michael Jordan, I won't use rookie Michael Jordan. I'll use the next youngest one. So yeah, let's start with Bill Russell. Let's see what the wheel chooses for him. All right, so the Toronto Raptors, we're going to be having Bill Russell going to the Toronto Raptors with Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. That should be pretty interesting, getting some defense there. A lot of the time, it won't let me just assign the player. It's going to make me trade. So I usually go with one of the lowest rated players that they have. That way, it's just like not really that much of a noticeable of a difference rather than going by position. So here we have a 58 overall. I'm just going to trade that way. All right, so we got our next players. We got Elgin Baylor, 30-year-old Elgin Baylor, 64-65, overall rating 95 at shooting forward. Small forward, not shooting forward, my goodness. All right, let's see what the wheel will decide for Elgin Baylor. And the Denver Nuggets will get Elgin Baylor. Maybe not many people remember, but the Denver Nuggets always tend to be a really solid team in this game for some reason. Iguodala was a beast in this game. If you know, you know. He is definitely OP in this game. They're a pretty solid team, so this should be interesting. Kostas Koufis. All right. Next, we'll have Jerry West, 26-year-old Jerry West, same year, 1964-65 point guard. Overall rating is a 91. Let's see what the wheel will decide for Jerry West. Jerry West going to the New Orleans Hornets with rookie Anthony Davis. This should be a good one. That's actually a pretty solid fit. That should help with some scoring, hopefully some playmaking as well. Maybe they get a couple more wins. Next we have is Oscar Robertson, 1970, 1971, 32-year-old Oscar Robertson. This should be interesting. Let's see what the wheel will decide for him. No, the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, they already got Tony Parker. They were going to finals around this time, but this should be interesting. That's just more firepower added to the San Antonio Spurs with their big three. And then I also replaced them with a old Tim Duncan with a young Tim Duncan. So that should be interesting to see there. With that addition, will definitely make them better. They also have a young Kawhi Leonard, so that should be interesting. All right, 34-year-old Wilt Chamberlain, 1970-71 Wilt. I wish they had a younger version of him, but even at 34 years old, Wilt's a beast with a 94 overall rating, and we'll see where he ends up. Houston Rockets, we got Wilt. Wilt's going to be joining, I believe this is going to be Lynn Sanity, Jeremy Lin, when he just signed that contract with Houston. I believe Kevin Martin as well. And Chandler Parsons. Can't forget about Chandler Parsons. So he's going to be joining that team. Pete Maravich, even though he's not the highest overall rated on this team, Pistol Pete is just known for being legendary as well. So I think he'll be a good addition to the league, especially with scoring. I think he'll be a great addition. So let's see what the wheel has for Pistol Pete. Going to the Los Angeles Clippers. Pistol Pete. That'll actually be pretty solid. They would definitely always needed some scoring at the shooting guard position. I know they've had JJ Redick, but this is definitely going to be a good addition. Let's see if JJ's on the team at this time. No, at this time JJ's actually not on the team, but they do have CP, Blake Griffin, Chauncey. So yeah, this will definitely help giving them some shooting over there up in the Clippers. So yeah, we have everybody here. All right. Walt Frazier, 90 overall from 1971-72. Walt Frazier at 26 years old. Let's see where we have him ending up. Nice. Going over to the Minnesota Timberwolves with Kevin Love. Even though they have Ricky Rubio, this should be interesting because he is definitely a higher rated overall. So congrats to Minnesota Timberwolves in their newest edition. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Got Kevin Love. Oh, they still got B. Roy, 80 overall. I'm taking injuries off in this series, so that way we'll be able to see people's full potential in this game and not have to worry about that, just to make it a bit more interesting. We're going to replace Dante Cunningham here. All right, 26-year-old George McGinnis, 91 overall rating from 1976-77 season. Let's see what the wheel will choose for him. Oh. Memphis Grizzlies get George McGinnis. I believe at this time, Memphis Grizzlies had a pretty solid team. They're a pretty defensive team. But they were solid, always playoff contention. Yeah, and this is Rudy Gay, Marcus Gasol, Zach Randolph, Mike Conley. Yeah, this was definitely a very solid team at this time, and he'll definitely be a great addition. All right, next we got 29-year-old Moses Malone from 1984-85, Philadelphia 76ers. Let's see what the wheel will choose for his fate. Oh. All right, so we got the Washington Wizards. He's going to be joining John Wall and a rookie Bradley Beal. With another twist, we actually added Gilbert Arenas. He was a free agent during this time. As we know, we're ticking off injuries. He's only 30 years old. This is when he said he was slowly going towards the end of his career. He's got the full-on beard, and they even had him as number 10 and number 9. But we changed him back to being Agent 0. So yeah, this will be a great addition. All right. Next, we got Sidney Moncrief, 1984-85 Milwaukee Bucks, 91 overall rating. Let's see where he ends up next. Wow, New York Knicks. This will definitely be an addition for Melo. They got Melo and Amari at this time. So he will be helping them out over there. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony, Amari, Jason Kidd, Young Shump, Tyson Chandler. I believe he won the Defensive Player of the Year, maybe the year before this. I'm not quite sure. But this was around that time. J.R. Smith, 27 years old. So this will definitely be an interesting team. I think he'll be a great addition as well. They could use all the help they could get. Yeah, here we have the very young version of Mike. I'm actually not going to add this version of him on there. I'm going to go with the next youngest, just to get like one of a more prime Mike, just to make it a bit more interesting. Especially we have the LeBron debate, Kobe debate versus Jordan. So let's go with a bit of an older, more experienced version of him. So it'll be a bit more of a fair comparison, and just to not give him, we don't want to give him too much of an advantage, but we also don't want to make it even harder for him just because he's Michael Jordan. So we're going to come back to the next Mike. Dominique Wilkins. 1985-86 Atlanta Hawks. Dominique Wilkins was definitely a beast with a 94 overall rating. Dominique was one of the first basketball players in his time to come back from an ACL injury, and just came back and played great when that was considered a career ender around those times. So I'm very interested to see in where he lands. Oh, to the Phoenix Suns. Around this time, the Phoenix Suns were definitely no man's land. Maybe not quite the best team. And I think this is when Steve Nash had just left. Older, aging Steve Nash. So this should be definitely they have Marcin Gortat. I love Marcin Gortat, but being the best player for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, they also had Mike Beasley, beast as well. Goran Dragic. Yeah, they have an all right team here, but no superstars at this time, so he will be their only superstar here. Let's take out. Yeah, some of these players aren't. I don't want to take out Kendall Marshall because he's a rookie around this time, so we'll go Sebastian Telfair. Unfortunately, was going to have to catch a stray, but James Worthy. I think it'll be fair. We should be definitely adding James Worthy here. 25-year-old James Worthy. 85 overall rating. Let's see where he ends up next. Oh. All right. This is actually a pretty good spot for him, I would say. He's going to be joining Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis up in Milwaukee. In this game, if you know that they were also OP players in this game. So, and they definitely need this position. So this should be definitely a good spot for them. They have a lot of power forwards. So let's do this. All right. So we got a 91 overall Isaiah Thomas from the 88-89 season. 27 years old. Let's see where he ends up. Golden State. All right, so this one might be a little bit tough because he's going to be joining Steph Curry, young Klay Thompson up in the Warriors. Steph and Isaiah both playing point guard. I'm not quite sure how I like this fit, so this is kind of going to be unfortunate for those two, but we're going to have to see how this plays out as well. And I'm also going to be adding a 80 overall Dennis Rodman to this as well, just to make it a bit interesting. He's a great defensive player, not maybe superstar level talent, but definitely brought something to the table. All right, so Chicago Bulls. This will definitely be a great addition for them, having Dennis Rodman. They have Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose, obviously, so this will be a pretty solid addition for them. All right, here we go. The next youngest, Michael Jordan from 88-89 season, 99 overall, maybe a bit OP, but we should definitely be adding this because this is definitely some of LeBron's best years, 2012, 2013. Everyone talks about those years of Bron as well as 2018 Bron. So we'll get a 88-89 Bulls Michael Jordan. Let's see where he ends up. Okay, this was definitely not planned at all. Going to the Charlotte Bobcats, Michael Jordan, the team that he had owned for years. He's going to be now playing there. Very familiar. It's going to be like him going to the Wizards and he was part owner. So that's very funny. But yeah, that's great. I love to see that he's going to be going to the Bobcats, them being one of the worst teams in the league for so many years, especially at this time. They got young Kemba here, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Ben Gordon. So I think this will definitely be great to see, see if how great Mike really is and if he can help save this team. I believe this is a rookie Scottie Pippen, so we're going to save the next younger Scottie Pippen to bring into the league. But we're definitely going to add him into the series because he's definitely a great player, one of the greats. So definitely going to put some respect on his name and add him in the league. Mark Price, not quite sure. Mark Price was definitely a great player for his time as well. You know what? Let's add Mark Price into the league. He's not talked about very much, but at his time, he was a great player. Going to the Orlando Magic. That should be a great addition to the team there. At this time, I believe this is the first year Dwight had left, so this will definitely be a good addition, at least having some sort of good player there. Yeah, their best player is Aaron Aflalo, much respect, but this should be an addition for the team as well. All right, okay. 90-91 Chicago Bulls Scottie Pippen. I think this is a better version to go off of at 90 overall. Still not peak, but definitely great version of him. So let's see where he ends up. To Miami Heat. So it's going to be Bron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, and now Scottie. That's going to be a very interesting mix. Let's see how this works. Definitely might be OP, or it might not even help. So we'll see how that goes, especially Scottie playing small forward, shooting guard. That their two-star players are already playing, so I'm not quite sure how that one's going to play out. But the wheel had spoken, and that's a part of the storyline. So let's see how this goes. All right, we already have Magic in here. All right, Glide Drexler, 1990-91 version of him, 92 overall. Let's see where the wheel chooses him to go. Where is his fate? Detroit Pistons. Okay, I actually like that fit. They don't have much of any stars, I believe, at that time there. Let's take a look and see who are the Pistons' best players. Yeah, Greg Monroe at 80, Rodney Stuckey at 80, Tayshaun Prince. Yeah, so I think he'll be a great addition. I'm not going to take Andre Drummond out. Austin Day, respectfully, going to have to switch you out here. All right, next we got Chris Mullin, 90 overall, from 1991 Golden State roster. Chris Mullin. Let's see where he ends up. He was definitely a legend, as you know, a part of TMC with Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullin. I think we might be adding all three of those guys to this league. Might make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, we definitely have a good amount of players here. So I'm going to focus on making sure we get our superstars in. We'll go with the highest with Chris Mullen for now. And if we have more spots, we will definitely circle back and get them in there. Oh, wow. Chris Mullen to the OKC, providing them shooting with an already stacked team, especially in this game, if you've ever played it. OKC is always a team that goes to the finals with Russ, KD, James. They're just stacked, and they're just OP in this game. So I just am curious to see how this will play out for them as well. Should be very interesting. Definitely adding more firepower, more shooting for them. So look forward to seeing that, how that's going to go. Alonzo Mourning, 90 overall from a 1992-93 Charlotte Hornets. If I'm not mistaken, this might even be his rookie year. But I'm not quite sure. I need to look into that again. But let's see where he ends up. Oh, Indiana Pacers.
Ow.
That should be interesting. I think that would be a great addition for them as well, though they already have Roy Hibbert at center. But we got a young PG, Paul George. That should be definitely, like I said, a great addition to the team. They're a pretty solid team in this game as well. So, yeah, they got Danny Granger, Roy Hibbert, Paul George, Gerald Green, David West. Yeah, this is a great team. It's going to be a great addition. All right, Akeem Olajuwon. We might also, circle back to Larry Johnson as well if we have some more space. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure to get the best player of a lot of these teams as well as the stars that everybody knows. So we're going to go with Akeem Olajuwon next, 97 overall from the 93-94 Houston Rockets, 30 years old. Let's see where he ends up next. Oh, wow. Dallas Mavericks with Dirk. They're going to get Hakeem going to the other team in Texas. I guess he just can't stay away from Texas. Hakeem, the Dream, going with Dirk. I'm not sure this is the championship team. I think had already dismantled at this time. Yeah, they got Dirk, 85, Vince, Sean Marion, Elton Brand. They got aging players, OJ Mayo. So this should be interesting to see how this dynamic works. I think this will be a great addition for them as well. Going to add Patrick Ewing, 94-95 season, 93 overall rating, 32-year-old Patrick Ewing. Let's see where he ends up next. Yeah, guys, we just have about a select amount of teams left here. So I just want to make sure we get our main superstars in on every team, and then we can always circle back and add more players in if there's any teams left. Utah Jazz. At this time, Darren Williams had left Utah already, and next who they have is, I believe Gordon Hayward may have been one of their best players. Al Jefferson. How do you forget that? And Paul Millsap, Mo Williams. Wow. Gordon Hayward at a 68 overall, and I was over here saying he was their best player. He does become one of their best players down the line, just not at this point in the series. So we will be adding him to the team. Next we have is Shaq from 94-95. This is going to be the season that they went to the finals, I believe. So let's see where Shaq ends up. Let's see what the wheel chooses for him. Almost to the Lakers, but we got Brooklyn Nets. I like that addition, actually. He's going to be joining Darren Williams up in Brooklyn. Yep, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Jared Wallace, Brooke Lopez, Chris Humphries. Not bad. I'm gonna add Penny Hardaway too, just because he was a great superstar. It's unfortunate he had his career setback due to injuries, but in this league, like I said, injuries will be turned off, so we will be able to see the full potential of Penny, especially in this part of the NBA. I believe he would have been a great scorer, great playmaker. So I think it'll be good to see where he ends up. I'm gonna add him in here as well. There's some solid teams here, besides maybe a handful, but there's some great teams I think he can end up on. Oh, wow, Philly. All right, so I'm going to be going to Philadelphia. I believe at this time they had Drew Holiday. He was one of their best players, but Andrew Bynum was there. This is when he got the bag. Drew Holiday, one of their best players. So I'm interested to see how this turns out. So much respect for Penny. I wish him much luck over there. Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Yeah, we have this is a great players. I'm gonna make sure that GP gets added in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more teams left. So I'm gonna start with GP, and then we can always circle back to Sean Kemp. Much respect to him, great player. Like I said, we're going for the main superstars in the meantime, though he was one of the main superstars. But GP is just a bigger name, so we're just going to make sure we get everybody in. So he's going to be going to the Atlanta Hawks. Good addition, bringing over some defense to the Hawks. This should be very interesting to see as well. They got Josh Smith, Al Horford, Lou Will, Jeff Teague. Shout out Jeff Teague and the podcast. Great pod, always giving me something to laugh about. So great pod. All right, so next we'll have Karl Malone and John Stockton. This is a bit older, 34 years old and 35. These are some of the greats as well. So I think I might add them both. Let me see how much more. Yeah, we will have a couple open spots. I believe they're both superstars, so we'll add them both in the league as well. So I have him ready to get traded. I keep opening that up before I'm opening up the wheel. So let's see where he ends up. So we'll have Karl Malone. All right. So we got Karl Malone going to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to be interesting. They are already a pretty stacked team, so I'm interested to see how it's going to go. They have Pau Gasol at that position. They got Dwight, Magic, Pau, Steve, Kobe. This is what I'm talking about, the younger Kobe Bryant at 19 years old. So this should be interesting to see. I'm going to add John Stockton here as well. All right. So John Stockton to the Sacramento Kings. John Stockton to Sacramento Kings. I believe, yeah, he's going to help Boogie over there. They got Tyreek Evans, young Isaiah Thomas. So this should be interesting. Maybe he might be of some help, actually. Unfortunately, he is a bit older at this time, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he'll be a great addition to the team. Not sure of his contract, how long it lasts, but I believe he can be of some help. At least addition some great assists and lobs to Boogie. Let's see how it goes. So next we're going to have David Robinson at 32 years old. The general 93 overall rating. Let's see where he ends up next as well. It's going down to a couple of teams at this point. We have 3 teams left. Oh. Boston Celtics. That will be a great addition to the team as well. They're getting a great player. He's a great player. So they've already got Rondo, KG, Paul Pierce. So yeah, he's going to be a great addition here for them. Definitely going to make them an even tougher team. As you see, yeah, this is where I replaced Tim with Tim with young Tim. So yeah, next we have is AI. He's going to be, this is going to be the last year, and then we'll have, I believe, one more spot open up. So let's see where AI is going to be going. He's either going to Portland or Cleveland with Kyrie. Cleveland with Kyrie. So we're gonna have AI, Kyrie Irving. That's gonna be a great duo. It's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out for him. I'm very looking forward to seeing that. Let's see. So yeah, we got Kyrie, Anderson Varejao, Dion Waiters. Yeah, this is gonna be great duo. That leaves us with one more spot. Which one of these players do we choose? Ahead of everybody, who would we? Mitch. You know, I think at this time, we got a bunch of guards in the league is what I'm thinking as well. I think we need to add somebody like Sean Kemp. I think he'll be a great addition over there, especially since they have Dame Lillard. So we'll give them someone like Sean Kemp. I know they have LaMarcus Aldridge there, but Sean can also play center. So I think we'll go with Sean. Like I said, he great overall player. The dunks highlight reel. Yeah, he was great at that time. So that version of him would be a great addition to the team. Yeah, as you see, they got power forward is LaMarcus Aldridge, Nicholas Batum. So if they convert one of those fellas over to a center, this team could be potentially scary as well. All right. And that's it, guys. So we pretty much have our new rosters here for the season. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. I think it's going to be a fun series. Next, we'll be getting into our player, and then we're going to go straight into starting the rookie showcase and seeing how the player we create, what type of player we are creating, what position, and we'll get into the series. And I'm looking forward to recording this for you guys. I had a great time playing this growing up, and I think it's one of the best 2Ks in this series. For me personally, I feel like I'm starting to sound like Unc when I talk about it and I think about it, but I'm gonna have a great time, and I'm looking forward to starting this series with you guys and get some great content in. So stick around, and I'm looking forward to us going through this and playing it out. So let's see how this goes. Pick and roll with
Johnson outside.
Oh,
Ted Gilchrist with the steal.
no
4-on-3 break.
turnover on the first play. Barely.
Ross kicks to Johnson. For three.
Bang.
Good. Johnson's got his first 3 points of the game. And for the Stars, Zeller, who's checked in for runner. That comes in for Robinson. And it's Rivers in.
Damn.
Man, that was unreal. Mark it up.
No way.
Tell you what, you need the
Celtics coach Doc Rivers, highly touted coming out of high school, had a good year at Duke. Couldn't dominate, but
Yes, sir.
was still very productive.
got our
Felt he was
first
ready to
layup,
enter the
first-
NBA to get to the hoop and finish.
It's stolen by Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And now here's Johnson, a fast break chance over Robinson.
Oh.
Johnson, good.